Welcome back to another full body movement flow. We're going to begin in a tabletop position. Have your hands under your shoulders and knees under your hips. And all we'll do from here is start with some circles through the spine. So we're going to press out laterally through the side of the body, start to round out at the top and tuck your chin, tucking the tailbone, round out to the opposite side, really feeling that stretch between the ribs. Draw your belly down at the bottom and you can lift the eyes, open the chest and extend the spine. Again, around to the side, rounding out nice and slow, tucking the chin until we come all the way down, opening the chest, lift the eyes, and back the other way. And you can just move at your own pace. You can go super, super slow, working into any tight areas. You can speed up a little bit, just do what feels good. Bring yourself into a neutral position and we'll go into cat and cow separately. So just tucking the tailbone, think about segmenting through your spine, working your way to the top. We're going to round out through the shoulders, feel the shoulder blades wrapping around the ribs, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, and then tilt the pelvis forwards nice and slow. Segmenting your way up to the top. Open the chest, lift the eyes. Shoulder blades are drawing down into the back. Again, tuck your tailbone, work your way up. Move at your own pace. One more of each. Slowly curling up. Breathing gently through your nose. And then bring yourself back into your tabletop position. All we're going to do from here is add some rotations for the spine. Bring one hand off the mat, place your hand to your ear, or you can just thread the arm through underneath. So either the elbow can come through and under, or you can reach the whole arm under, and then open it up, leading with the elbow. Take a breath in. As you exhale, try to twist a bit deeper. You can extend the arm, and let's reach it through and under again. Holding it, using your breath. Once more. Take a breath. Exhale, twist a bit more. And then let's reach it all the way underneath, taking the shoulder to the ground, tuck your chin. Press out through this bottom shoulder, don't sink into it. You can stay here, gentle breaths in and out of your nose. You can add a deeper twist by reaching this arm up, looking up towards the thumb, or even walking it overhead as far as you can. Great, just opening into the trunk of the body, feeling a nice deep twist through the thoracic, and then bring yourself back up. Onto the opposite side, let's take hand to ear, or you're going to thread the whole arm underneath. So reaching under and opening up, leading with the elbow. Take a breath in, exhale, twist, and twice more. This time, drawing the arm all the way through, shoulder to the mat, and we're gently pushing through this bottom shoulder. You can stay here, reach the other arm up, looking up, or take it all the way overhead. Slowly start to bring yourself back up into your tabletop position, and from here we'll go into a downward dog. So from downward dog, or from tabletop, hook your toes, lift your hips, and take your head and your chest through the shoulders. You can extend one leg and then the other, just alternate side to side. Don't worry if your heels don't touch the mat, they don't have to. We want to keep that length in the spine. Feel the shoulders press the ground away. From here, we're just going to curl our way up to the top into a plank. So think about curling up through the spine into a high plank. From here, you can just lower your knees, otherwise we'll lower down through a negative press up. So shoulders lead, elbows stay on top of the wrists, all the way down to the floor. Bring the forearms out in front. You can press through the forearms and think about lengthening through the spine, or go into a full upward dog where we press through the shoulders and through the tops of the legs. Think about lengthening your spine, open your chest, lift the eyes. And just make sure the shoulders are roughly on top of the wrists, not too far in front, otherwise you'll feel that a bit too much into your wrists. Grip with the fingers. From here, lift your hips, downward dog. We're going to do that twice more. Curl up into a high plank and lower down. Travel through into an upward dog or onto the forearms. Press through the legs and the shoulders, lift your hips, downward dog. And once more, curling up and lower down. Travel through and open through the spine. Open the chest, engage the legs, press through the shoulders. Lift back, downward dog. From downward dog, step your right foot up between your hands. You can use yoga blocks here, either side of that front foot, and just lower your back knee down. We're going to engage the glutes, really think about pressing the back hip forward. At the same time, pull your front heel towards you. Feel a nice deep opening into the hips. A few more breaths here. Keep pressing that back hip open. If it feels too much to be down here, we can come all the way up. Still just pressing the back hip forward, pulling the front heel towards you. You're going to feel great stretch into your quads, into your hip flexors, the front of that thigh. We're going to send the hips back from here, pull the front toes up, bend the front knee slightly, hinge at the hips. Think about leading with your sternum, the belly button's drawing towards the thigh rather than trying to get your head to your leg. And at the same time, this thigh bone, the front leg, is drawing in and up to the hip. The front heel is gently pushing down. And we can also then add some rotations at the hip, so the foot will turn in and out. Just keep breathing gently through your nose. And then just go a couple of times, a little bit quicker in and out of those two positions. So back into the hips at the front, press the back hip open, lift the chest, pull the front heel towards you, and into the hamstrings, gently pushing down through the heel. Slight bend in the knee is fine. You can also point your foot. And again, one of each, one more of each. Bring yourself back to the front of the mat. Place the hands down, go back to downward dog. From your downward dog, step your left foot forward, or your other foot, if you've already done your left, it doesn't matter which one. We're going to press the back hip open. Use your blocks for support. You don't have to use your blocks. Squeeze the glutes, press forward with this back hip, pull back with the front heel. You can come up higher, tucking the tailbone and holding it here. Let's send the hips back and hinge over. Slight bend in that front knee is all good, and we can be super high. Hands can be up on the hips. You can also hook your back toes, which might help with your balance if you feel like you're wobbling about a little bit. I'm going to rotate the thigh, but also I'm drawing the thigh up into the hip, gently pushing down through the heel. With each exhale, I'm aiming to try and find a bit more space. As I breathe out, just trying to hinge over that little bit more. Open into the hips. And then let's do a couple hinging over and opening up. Again, send the hips back and hinge. And open. And then when you're ready to, we'll come back to the front of the mat, back to downward dog. Walk through the feet. And all we're going to do from here is walk your hands back to your feet and curl up nice and slowly through your spine. Take your feet nice and wide, slight turn in with the big toes, and we're going to add some hinges and also some Cossack squats to really open the hips a bit more. Hands can go onto the hips. Think about pushing your hips back as you hinge over, and you should start to feel your hamstrings. You can bend your legs and have the knees tracking the toes. You don't have to have straight legs, so you can work with a combination of both, see how it feels. And just hinge over, standing back up, really squeezing your glutes. On your next one, hinge over, send the hip across, allow one knee to bend, come back up and switch to the other side. Don't worry so much about the depth, just start to feel the movement as we shimmy the hips across. And then gradually, we can start to work deeper, maybe all the way down into a Cossack on one side. Your ankle might not be quite so happy here, so you might have to lift the heel up to be able to sit deeper into your hips. See how you get on. Otherwise, if your ankles allow it, come all the way down and then shift across. You can lift the hips really high as you transition. You can challenge it by keeping them low as you transition. And then we're just going to add a little lunge sequence either side. So go across, turn into a lunge facing that front foot, lower the back knee, hinge over into the hamstrings, back into your lunge and your Cossack. You can go at your own pace. If this is too quick, just slow it down. It's all good. We'll go into that Cossack, turn to your lunge, really opening the back hip, lower the back knee, and hinge. Do it twice more each side. So again, Cossack first, and then lunge. Back knee lowers down, and we go into the hamstrings. And rotate again, transition across, into your lunge, back knee lowers, and back into the hamstrings. Once more each side. This time in your deep lunge, you could also have a go at taking the hands inside the front foot, maybe even drawing the forearms down, breathing into it. If you'd rather keep moving through that sequence, that's fine, you can keep going. When you're ready, it's back knee lowers, hinge over. Once more, Cossack across, into your lunge, this time hands inside that front foot. You can draw the forearms down, try to lengthen the spine, open the chest, rather than forcing it and rounding over. Back knee lowers, hinge over. And then from here, into your Cossack, lift your hips. All we're going to do is toe heel the feet in, sit into a deep squat. And for your deep squat, you might have to have a slight heel lift. That's fine. If you can get the heels down, get the heels down. Palms together, sitting up nice and tall. From our deep squat, we're going to finish with a frog stretch. So hands come down, knees come down to the mat. You can place cushions under your knees. We're just going to take the knees wide, have the inner edges of the feet in line. So just look back to check ankles and knees are in line, knees and hips. You can go onto the forearms or stay on the hands. And then from here, feel that inner thigh stretching into the groin. Draw the lower ribs in. Breathe gently, and over time you can start to bring yourself down lower and lower. Seeing if we can take the knees a bit wider. Whilst we're here, you can have a go at gripping into the ground. So think about drawing your knees and your feet, gripping into the floor, like you're trying to close the legs towards each other. Hold it for a few seconds, and then relax into it again. Do that twice more, grip into the floor as hard as you can. Feel the hips really activate into that isometric, feel the inner thighs gripping the floor, and then release into it. And again, squeezing into the floor as hard as you can, and then release. And you can stay here, or bring the big toes to touch, send your bum back to your heels. Chest can come down towards the ground, arms can reach out in front, or you can make a cushion by holding your elbows and resting your forehead on top. And then just stay here. Relax, breathe, recover, stay here as long as you like. Thanks for joining me for another movement flow. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and share this video with anyone else you think it might help. I'll see you soon.